My name is Henrietta AYONG. This evening I'll be presenting to you a persuasive speech on the topic smoking and how devastating it is to human health. My specific goal this evening is to let you understand the fact that smoking is very dreadful to our health. Smoking, like I said, is a practice that is very bad, and I want you all to open your eyes and mind and reason with me that smoking has caused a lot of harm to our health. Smoking-related diseases has killed about one-half of the population, especially in the UK. The perception of smoking differs from place to place. Some call it sinful, some people call it vulgar, and worst of all, it is very dreadful to our human health. Smoking has caused a lot of diseases such as cancer, COPD, bad respiratory diseases, erectile dysfunction, impotence, premature birth, low birth weight, hypertension, and kidney failure. What is smoking? Smoking is a practice whereby people inhale substances from tobacco and cigarette. When it's been burned, the smoke is either taste or inhaled. Some use it for recreational drugs, some use it for spiritual reasons, some use it for enlightenment. Like I said before, smoking is very dangerous. Statistics have shown that over 1,000 people have died of diseases related to smoking. In this 1,000, 42,800 have died of diseases of cancer related to smoking. Some have died from cardiovascular diseases, like 30,600 of them related to smoking, and 29,100 people have died from emphysema related to smoking. How has smoking damaged our health? Smoking reduces our lifespan by 7 to 8 years. Each cigarette reduces our lifespan for about 11 minutes. Like we said, smoking is a very dangerous substance. Smoke has 4,000 chemical compounds in them and about 400 toxins. When you smoke a cigarette, it burns at the tip at 700 degrees centigrade and 60 degrees in the core. So what happens is the residue is being deposited in the lungs, and it goes along to damage your lungs, and you cannot breathe well. And this residue will release toxic substance like tar, carcinogen, nicotine, which goes along to cause cancer, and nicotine will release cholesterol and fats that, when deposited in the arteries, will narrow them and make them constricted and rigid. That way blood clots are formed and causing all different diseases that affect different parts of the body. Let's look at some of the diseases that has been caused by smoking. Let's look at one major disease, the cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is a disease that affects the blood vessel. What happens here is nicotine, which is one of the substances in cigarette, when released after smoking, it constricts the arteries, it makes them narrow, blood cannot flow through, so blood clots are being formed, and in the end people have heart attack and they die. Some of this cardiovascular disease we'll be looking at is, number one, we have coronary thrombosis. What happens is the arteries that supplies blood to the heart is being narrowed and becomes rigid. Blood cannot flow through, so the blood clot, and in the end people have heart attack, stroke, paralysis, and they die. Again, smoking affects the cerebral arteries. Thus, blood is not flowing through the brain. What happens is it narrows because of nicotine. It's rigid. There's blood clot. People die. People get paralysis, and it has been noticed that dementia is caused because of the arteries in the cerebral part of the brain that has been narrowed or rigid. So smoking enhances the narrowing and rigidness of the arteries. So it is very, very important that we stop smoking. Another important thing that I want you to know is smoking will affect your kidneys. It will cause the blood flowing to the kidneys to reduce. The blood pressure will drop, and you can have kidney failure. Smoking causes blood constrictions and make you to have hypertension. Again, smoking will affect the men. Men will end up having impotence. They can't have kids. They will have erectile dysfunction because you need a lot of blood flow to the penis for erection to occur. So smoking causes constrictions, restrict the blood flowing to the penis, and that way you cannot have ejection, and that way you end up not having kids. Also, smoking will affect children that live in the homes of people that smoke. They are more prone to allergies, asthma, because again, remember, the nicotine in smoke causes narrowing of the arteries and causes your airway to be constricted. Smoking has also caused a serious disease like COPD, whereby people find it very difficult to breathe. You become breathlessness. You can even die of respiratory distress. Okay, smoking also has caused a disease called emphysema, which is very dangerous. Your breathlessness, your alveoli is being damaged. Smoking has also caused what we call chronic bronchitis. You have a serious cough for like 3 months straight with mucus, and most of the time you end up being hospitalized and the end stage is dead. Like I said before, smoking is a very bad practice, and if we could avoid smoking, we will realize most people will avoid diseases like cancer. Smoking has resulted to a lot of cancer, especially cancer of the lungs, the mouth, and the tongue. If we could avoid smoking, the percentage of related cancer will be 0.5%. But people who smoke, they are more than likely to have cancer of the lungs, about 94%. Smoking affects our skin. It makes our skin look pale. People who smoke have a lot of wrinkles, their teeth are stained, their gums are swollen, they have bad breath. We want to avoid all that by stopping the smoking. Like I said before, smoking is a very bad practice. To conclude, smoking is that practice that has led to many dangerous diseases like cancer of the lungs, cancer of the mouth, cardiovascular disease like hypertension, kidney failure, impotence, erectile dysfunction, and premature death. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of our discussion this morning. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. I don't have a question. What I want to ask, in fact, is to try to give us with a little more detail the real consequences of smoke.
Okay. Like I said, smoking is a very bad practice. What happens is that when you smoke, you have substances in smoking like tar, carcinogen, and nicotine. What happens is carcinogen is a substance that causes cancer. So smoking will cause cancer of the lungs. It would make it 3 times your possibility of having cancer of the lungs. Smoking will cause things like impotence, because it will restrict the blood flow to your penis, and you need blood flow in order for you to have erection. Smoking is also very bad. It can cause allergies and asthma. Thank you.
So, if somebody want to avoid all those diseases, what is the best to do?
The best thing for you to do is to just stop smoking entirely. And in order to stop smoking, you can get medical assistance, you can get medical help, you can, meet with some health professionals that will help you to stop smoking. The best thing is to avoid smoking. If we avoid smoking, we'll avoid a lot of diseases that are detrimental to our health.
So, is it any drug that can help anybody to stop to smoke?
They have some drugs,